All right, guys. Welcome to the Fan Report, where it's by fans.
For fans.
We are definitely glad to be here with you guys doing a very special Avengers Infinity War review. I do warn you, though, full spoilers.
Yep.
So if you have not seen
Spoiler-filled
the movie,
review.
run away, please. Please don't do yourself a
Get out.
disservice.
Just come back when you have
Yes.
seen the movie.
Yes, come back when you've seen the movie because you guys got to watch this movie. So we're definitely giving you guys a full-on
Get
review
your
here.
butt in the theater and watch this movie. Damn.
Hey, you're kind of late. So I'm Nick. This is Andrew. We're the Fan Report. We got a couple of guests in our Discord here with us, so that they're going to be doing the review with us, or a couple of viewers on our live broadcast that we do every Tuesday, Friday, and Monday nights. We like to do a hangout. So we got the shows Tuesday and Friday, and then we do the hangout night. We played some games on Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you want to check that out over at twitch.tv/thefanreport. So, anyways, guys, I'm not going to, go on too far, keep going too long with this little intro here. So let's go ahead and get it going with the review. Our boys over in the Discord are Slippery Snake and Wilt Stumbling. Guys, welcome. Glad to have you here.
What's going on?
What's going on?
I just want to, Andrew, on behalf of Andrew and I just want to thank you guys as well for joining us on this kind of a, cool little thing that we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Trying to,
no
boost
problem.
YouTube a little bit, get things going with it. So let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Let's have some
Yeah, no
fun.
problem.
Be as spoilerific as you want.
Cool.
So let's take this bit by bit here. Let's get the negatives out of the way first. I think.
Okay, we can start with the negatives. That's a
So-
cool idea. That's a cool idea.
I'll start off by saying I think the one thing that stood out to me while watching this movie, first of all, fantastic film. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
no question.
But,
Wonderful movie.
The one thing I saw for me that you didn't really get with the other Marvel movies was because this was so big in scale. It was way bigger than any of the movies that Marvel's ever done. Obviously, it's Infinity War, but you had to fit so many characters in this movie that this was the only proper way to do this, but it was still kind of jolting. Was they had to separate all the characters into different areas, and what that caused was a lot of jumping around, and then you would go to a scene. And like for example, when you're with Iron Man and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man on Thanos' ship, you're with them for like 20 minutes,
Right.
and then you jump back to like being with Vision and Captain America and Scarlet Witch. And you're like, oh shit, what was happening here again? I got to reacclimate myself. And so like all that jumping around, it took a little bit to get used to. I think that was one. The pacing was solid, but that kind of like it was kind of a start-stop pacing kind of thing.
So to kind of piggyback off with what you're saying here, and I actually 100% agree with you that there was a lot of, I don't want to call it continuity issues. It was more.
What was the continuity issue?
It was more
Just a flow.
pacing,
It was more
and
of a
yeah, it was
flow.
more of a flow issue and pacing issue.
But at the same
was-
time, I can't think of a better way to I can't think of a different
No,
way they could have done
there's
it.
no other way to do this. You're right, because they had so many characters and so many characters in different locations that
Yeah.
they had to do it this way. It was the only way to get it done. But the issue that I had with the way that they did it was I also felt a lot like there was a lot of situations where I felt like we went to one group. Say we went to the group with Drax and
Star-Lord,
Drax, Star-Lord, Gamora, and all them.
Yeah.
And
That was
then
the
we
same
then we
group with
panned
Iron Man
over,
and Doctor
and
Strange,
they
yeah.
got to from point A to point
Yeah.
B, and then we go over to Thor and Rocket or something, and they get from point A to point like A and a half.
Yeah.
They and then we go back to point
Yeah,
B,
different-
and they move on to point C. Well, they're still back on point A and a half.
Yeah.
I felt like there were certain different portions of the movie were advancing further than the others, and then at some points it seemed like they had to play catch up, and they I don't want to call it sloppily did it.
No, it wasn't sloppy,
But it
no.
wasn't really sloppy, but it felt in certain situations when there were certain, portions of the groups were playing catch up, it felt like they rushed it a little bit. They had to catch up, so they rushed that, a little bit to make it, even to make the timelines at, standard there. So that was, I do agree with that one small issue you had there.
Slippery Snake, will some of you guys agree with that? Do you guys have any other issues that come to mind for you guys?
Mine, I agree with the whole jumping around and stuff, but I expected that coming in with what you said. It's such a huge movie. Like, how can they not? It's gonna be a little chaotic
Yeah.
at times, and timelines are definitely gonna get a little jumbled. I thought the script was pretty solid all around up until, for some reason, to me, no, this might just be me, but every time Scarlet Witch and Vision were in the same room together, just got so cheesy and Like the "I feel you" stuff just completely dropped dead to
You're
me. There was
not wrong there. I did
nothing
feel
there.
like Scarlet Witch and Vision, just the two of them together. I get it, they're in love, and I get all that, that whole aspect. But
Well,
when they were on screen together, there was a lot of cheese factor with the relationship. There was a lot of I please don't go. The whole thing in Scotland. What was the point of that? Scene?
I'll be honest. I didn't get the cheese factors much. So one thing that did throw me off with the Scarlet Witch Vision thing is, when did they become in love? That was never
You
established in
could
any
kind
movie.
of see a little bit of
fucking-
sexual
God.
tension in Civil War. There was some sexual tension in
I
Civil
didn't
War.
feel it. They hated
it was
She
palpable.
threw him through like 7 stories in a
Bro, it was palpable. You could cut the tension with a knife.
It was there.
It was.
I don't remember it, to be honest with you.
I do.
When I watched it, I see Vision and fucking Scarlet Witch at a better. I'm like, shit went down here.
Anybody else kind of wonder, like, how does it work between a robot and
It's a little off topic.
That fucking that Mind Stone starts getting real bright.
Will Stumblin', what are your thoughts? Any negatives you had from the movie?
Well, I agree with you guys, but I have nothing to add.
Nothing to add. All right. I do want to point out one other thing that I had that I was a little bit perturbed by. I don't know if I want to save this or not, but since we're starting with the negatives, I just felt that, the one big issue I had with the ending of this movie, and obviously because of the spoiler, huge spoiler warning coming up here, but obviously we saw Black Panther, Spider-Man, Star-Lord,
Doctor Strange,
several major characters.
We see all the Guardians
They're all
except for
coming back.
Rocket.
Yeah.
Yes, several
That's
major
my
characters
problem.
die.
They're all coming back.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
That's
See,
my
that
problem.
is what my problem is.
Yeah, the same.
Everybody
Yeah.
in the
You
world
know they're-
knows that they're all coming back. So what did we really lose in this movie outside of Loki, which we know is dead? Outside of
Gamora's
Gamora, who we
50-50.
know is dead, and
Gamora
Vision, who we
come
know
back
is
too.
dead. Technically, Gamora
Yeah, I
could
know-
come
I
back,
gotta-
but I highly doubt it because she was thrown off a fucking cliff.
Her-
I don't know. Some weird shit could go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But in
See-
terms of the big time characters here, the Black Panthers, Spider-Man,
Like, especially Spider-Man,
Doctor
yeah,
Strange,
like, it's
right. What
if
did we
it's
really
already
lose here if we already know that they're definitely coming back? I felt like
If it's already-
Avengers, I felt like Marvel tipped their hand with this one, which is something I didn't think Marvel has ever known to do, is tip
Well,
their hand for the next movie.
I'll let Slippery Snake answer first.
I mean, like, yeah, if it's already you already know Guardians is coming back for a third. You already know Spider-Man's got 2 more movies.
Exactly.
I don't know what they're gonna do with Doctor Strange. I mean, that could be open-ended.
Doctor Strange is too important and too new to this franchise. I'd be
Yeah.
very shocked to not see him come back. But Black
Yeah.
Panther just hit $1.1
No,
billion.
Black
There's
Panther's-
no way he's not
Yeah,
coming
they haven't
back.
announced one, but Black Panther is definitely going to come back. They'd be stupid not to
That's
bring
what
him
I'm saying, though. What
But-
did we really lose here?
So here's my thing.
It's just the shock factor, I guess.
No,
for
I
what-
agree with the shock factor and all that. I didn't like the fact that you could definitely tell Marvel's tipped their hand with this one, and I just
mean, you
had a
just-
slight problem with that because I didn't want them to.
Well-
I wanted to be as blind going into the 4th Avengers as I was going into Infinity War.
See, the reason
I mean-
the reason that for me, I guess it didn't bother me as much is because of the fact that I felt this movie already had enough emotional weight as it was. I didn't need to see the rest of them stay dead for me, like for me to get the full emotional weight. I was already fully emotionally invested in this movie. It already drained me
It's
as it
not
was.
to say I wasn't.
And well, not only,
Go ahead,
and
go
then the
ahead.
second part is even with the comics when Thanos executes a snap after filling the Infinity Gauntlet, like those guys do come back too. Like it's not something that Marvel
yeah.
just. I think it's.
But again,
I think it's setting up for a
let's
send-off
use the
with- for main
tutelage
hero.
that you always go against, saying Marvel doesn't. These movies don't follow the comics at all. They
No,
just use them
they
as
use
an
them as
inspiration.
inspiration.
That's
Yeah.
it. So basically what I not to say I wasn't emotionally invested into this movie because I was. It was hard watching Loki die. It was hard watching Vision die. It was hard watching. I mean, Gamora damn near fucking
Oh
tore
my
my
God,
heart out.
Vision's death when she's like, I got the Infinity Stone, I broke it.
No, I
Thanos
was
is like,
fucking
Yeah,
laughing.
you kind of knew Vision was gonna die. Though.
Bitch.
I mean, I was laughing because I'm a sick fuck. Like, he just comes back and fucking rips it out of his head.
But see, so it's not that I wasn't emotionally invested, but I was fully prepared here. Fully, entirely prepared and ready. My body was ready to see Iron Man or Captain America or someone
Jesus Christ,
huge
when Iron
die.
Man-
I'm just
And I
happy-
didn't get that. I almost got it. I almost got it with Iron Man. I saw the
when Iron
stab.
Man-
It was turned. I was ready. My body was shocked, but I was ready. And then no, that
I'm
that
just
ended.
happy we
When
got
I-
to see
I mean-
Thanos complete the gauntlet and actually the snap because we both neither of
That
us
was
expected that
crazy.
to happen in this movie. Like we both
No.
predicted
I
finish
thought
the
the
gauntlet.
way that he executed the snap was kind of lame. I'm
Oh, I
not gonna
loved
lie.
it when Thor
I
gets
loved
at
it.
him with.
I would have
Stormbreaker.
rather see like an ultimate badass power move where he's
This is what it was. Like,
no,
like,
it wasn't though. It was a desperation move. Like you should have aimed for the head. Boom, I'm still alive. I
was
would
a
have loved to
desperation
see
move.
him just literally just blow the bitch out of everybody, including Thor.
he did blow the pitch out of everybody.
Not Thor, he didn't. And then stand
Well,
up
Thor,
and
that-
over the bodies of the Avengers and go, bye bye.
See,
That would have been the most badass
Let me-
villain moment in any
me
superhero
say one
movie
thing.
ever.
That's maybe a mini complaint I had.
Oh,
For some
no,
reason,
no.
I wanted to get
Mini
this on my chest.
like literally
Thor-
absolutely minute. Absolutely minute.
No. My mini complaint was actually with Thor. In this movie, he's basically Jesus. Like he does absolutely everything, and he just can't be stopped.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
fucking love Thor in this movie, man.
It's
He
been
was
that
so
way
badass.
ever since the last 30 minutes of Ragnarok.
Yeah,
like, he just
he
been
was
G'd up.
so badass in this movie.
He's a badass
Yeah.
for sure. Speaking of but I love the way they did the snap. I can't believe they actually did it. I thought for sure they just set up for a big ass standoff in the next movie,
Yeah.
which they essentially did. But still, that was fucking crazy.
Like-
I loved it.
For me, the way that scene played out for me was so like Thor comes in with
Wait.
with the axe and puts it right in Thanos' chest. I'm like, oh come on, they're really gonna kill Thanos in this movie. Like Thanos should really live for more ways. He digs it deeper in. I'm kind of mad now they're killing Thanos, and Thanos just looks at Thor and goes, "Should have aimed for the head." I'm like, oh shit,
So
he's
I'm
not
kinda
about to do it.
curious- I'm
And then
kinda
he
curious.
snaps, and I'm like, oh. Fuck.
So if
That
that
was-
axe is supposed to be as powerful as it is, you know,
Mhm.
just out of curiosity, I mean, we saw that axe do some work, right?
He said it was actually
Yeah.
gonna kill. Like he engineered to kill
The axe
Thanos.
ki-
Right,
Thanos
right.
killing axe.
Okay, so my problem with that is Thanos is perfectly fucking fine after the snap. How did this just magically heal? He just got stabbed
yeah,
through
There's
the
a, there's a
heart.
healing factor in the gauntlet.
I understand, but he just got stabbed through the heart and
You don't
by,
know the heart.
by
You
the,
just got stabbed in the chest.
Okay,
But-
it was literally
yeah.
everywhere on his chest.
I'm just saying-
And he just goes snap,
They
and all of a
pulled it
sudden
out.
he's gone, and everything's
Yeah,
fucking fine and
there's a-
dandy on his part.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet. That's the power of the gauntlet.
I understand that's part of the gauntlet, but I felt like if that's supposed to be the all-powerful weapon that kills Thanos,
Mm-hmm.
how is it that reversed that easily? How was the effect of that weapon
Fucking
reversed that
gauntlet,
easily?
man.
Because the one
The fucking
variable is if he
gauntlet.
has a gauntlet filled.
Okay, see that's weak to me. That's weak.
not
That's
weak.
weak. That makes
What are your-
that makes that weapon weak.
What are your thoughts, Slippery Snake?
For me, a thing I loved about the movie was when you were talking about Thor hitting him with the axe, and he actually does the snap. I really loved the what's the word I'm looking for? The least I can't think of the word. Just there wasn't a lot of Deus Ex Machina, which I fucking loved. Like everything that like Thor coming in, you're like, oh shit, it's fucking over, and then Thanos snaps. That just like I thought for sure. Okay, granted, Tony fucking getting stabbed, but I mean, I fucking love that. I didn't want him to die. He's like my favorite
Yeah.
character. I mean, when he got stabbed, I had a fucking mini heart attack.
I mean,
too.
I did too.
But-
Go ahead, Will Stumbling.
So, hot take: Loki's not dead.
Really?
I mean, he looked pretty dead to me.
What?
No, the thing is,
Do you think he
that
faked his death like
Thor
he
said-
did in the other in I think it was Dark World where he faked his death?
Thor said
best
like
movie.
Loki's been dead before,
Yeah.
so maybe he may come back.
But I mean, Thanos said there won't be any resurrections this time.
Well, maybe
Well, you
not. I
never
mean,
know.
there won't be any resurrections yet. We already know there's going to be resurrections, considering we know Black Panther and Spider-Man coming back. So,
True.
but
I think if anyone
think
like
Loki was out of
pre-snap
character, too.
was to come back, I think it'd be
Gamora.
Gamora because I actually did not know this, but
That was crazy.
comic book nerds smarter than I have said that apparently when you get killed for the Soul Stone, your soul lives in the Soul Stone and can be brought back.
Interesting.
So
So one other small, minute. I don't want to call it a complaint. I just felt like it could have been done a little bit better. There could have been things that happened here that would have made a little more sense. But I guess for the movie, you had to do it this way. And and I've actually seen this be a complaint for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Was essentially Star-Lord fucks everything up.
Fuck,
You're supposed
he's
to
a
be part
dumbass.
God here. I get the emotional aspect of what happened. He just finds out the guy he's staring at straight in the face just killed his girl and all this stuff, the girl he loves. You're going to be pretty pissed off and react in a way. But at the same time, there are 4 other superheroes right next to you. They can't stop you or nothing. I mean, come on now.
Well, notice one thing. Doctor Strange is the one who saw all the possible outcomes, right?
Yes.
He said it was the only way.
He was the only one that wasn't holding Thanos down. He didn't stop Star-Lord.
So why the fuck didn't he do that?
Maybe he wanted that to happen.
Why?
Maybe that's part of the one outcome where they win.
Clearly, that wasn't part of the one outcome they won.
What
I
makes
don't
you
know.
think that
but
Thanos won't fuck him up as soon as he gets the gauntlet, get the gauntlet off? Like,
because Thanos' power is immediately dwindled drastically without the gauntlet on his hand. Hulk
Still
kicks
pretty fucking
Thanos'
powerful.
ass in it without the gauntlet. He does.
did not. He
Without the
He
gauntlet.
got his ass whooped.
Thanos had the gauntlet on.
Yeah, we had like 1 gem in it though.
2. He had the
He
gauntlet
got
on.
2 after that.
No, he had 1 at the. He had the
Yeah.
Power Stone though, the most powerful one to beat Hulk. That's the one stone he needs to beat Hulk. If he doesn't have the gauntlet, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Star-Lord, Mantis, and Spider-Man would have killed Hulk any day.
Hulk?
Or I'm sorry, Thanos any day. Any day. And especially one Thanos that's extremely groggy, just lost the gauntlet, probably fucking pissed off and not, knowing what's going on. You got 1,000 Doctor Stranges about to kick your ass. Really? I mean, no. They would have they would have destroyed Thanos without that gauntlet.
Now,
there.
is that a complaint of yours, or are you just pointing out complaining of people?
It's more of a complaint
I
for
don't-
other people. I have a little small complaint because I thought it was a little weak.
I don't have an issue.
I
with
thought
that.
it was weak on,
thought it was
on the part
justified.
of a god because he is part god.
Yeah.
It's weak on the part of a god. I will say that.
He's
But
not exactly
overall-
most mature god.
No, but he's still a god, and
what
that
do you-
shows a lot of weakness on his.
What do you guys
portion.
think about that take? Somebody saying about something?
It was fucking. I don't know. I thought I was fine with it. I was like, oh. Well, I mean, I predicted it. Like as soon as Gamora died, they're fucking getting the gauntlet off. I just see him walk in. I'm like, fucking something's gonna happen.
Yeah,
But
no,
I mean, I
it
predicted
definitely. Again, it wasn't a huge issue I had. I
Yeah.
just felt like it was weak on his
it. It was
part.
huge.
Chris Pratt's getting a lot of heat on Instagram for it
Yeah,
too.
it's funny. Well, you got anything to say about that one?
I agree with Andrew in saying that I think it was part of what Doctor Strange saw as that one possibility of them winning.
Because yeah, he gave the stone up and said it was the only way. Like he wouldn't just fucking do that.
Well, from what we could tell, obviously we don't know, but from what we could tell, the only possibility, because once he gave up the stone, essentially his visions were on the Battle of Thanos. They lost at that point. They lost. That was the one of the millions of outcomes that they lost because they lost the stone. So, maybe that was the outcome where they win, but obviously it wasn't.
We don't know, obviously. You're not going to know, obviously, unless Thanos gets defeated. That's what he's looking at. Is there a way to defeat Thanos?
Well, way I interpreted was that how did they defeat Thanos on Titan?
No, I'm pretty sure somehow as far as defeating Thanos in general. Like,
You don't know as much as I do with that
That's-
because they were talking in that instance they were talking about him coming to Titan to face them, and that was when he was talking about them defeating Thanos there. They were talking about there because you do realize they don't even know what's going on
no,
Earth.
it could have been there, but in general, it's just defeating Thanos. It wasn't limited just on Titan.
I really highly
So-
doubt them giving up the time stone as part of Doctor Strange's view of them winning. Because he protected it at all costs, and if he had thought about that before, why wouldn't he just give him the time stone at that point?
Who knows?
So it would make no sense for them to damn near lose Tony Stark, damn near kill everybody else that you're with, for them to just give him the time stone. That makes no sense. If that's what he knew they needed to do to win, that makes no sense. That doesn't
And
work.
speaking of Tony Stark, I think so when Thanos and Tony Stark were fighting, and Thanos says all that for a drop of blood, I think Tony did that on purpose so he could get his blood and do something with it. Knowing Tony Stark, I think that is a possibility.
That's possible. That's more of an
I have-
Eric Banner thing, but that
Yeah.
is possible.
Bruce Banner. I have
Well, no, it's Eric Banner.
Bruce Banner. Talking about the Hulk.
Bruce.
I literally read something today that said Eric Banner, but it's
Bruce
Bruce
Banner.
Banner. You're right, it is Bruce Banner. But I literally read something today that said
Eric
Eric
Banner.
Banner.
I don't know, but One theory I did hear about that Bell and Titan is Doctor Strange put some kind of hex on the time stone when he gave it to Thanos.
That's possible. Obviously, it didn't really affect him to stopping Vision, but hey.
No, like allowing him to manipulate it after the fact. But we'll see. But let's get into positives, though, because we are running a little short on time here.
Right, yes.
For me, at least, I'm just going to be really broad stroke with this. This is my favorite Marvel movie today so far, unless I have a change of heart on this movie.
Same.
Agreed.
This movie was
a
absolutely
huge
nuts.
part of this is
Loved it.
is just the scale of it alone.
Yes.
It's hard to compare to the other Marvel movies because it's just so much bigger. And I thought the action sines were really well done.
The action
the
scenes.
CGI would. First of all, Thanos' CGI was fantastic.
Yes, it
Some of
was.
the best I've
There
seen.
was a little. There were like a little iffy
There were
parts when
some
Thanos
parts
would
that
go
were,
to-
you know, iffy
would go to,
with
like,
it, but
pick someone up,
Anytime you
and
can
then-
show
I kind of-
emotion with a CGI
right,
character,
but I
you
kind
got
of
me.
expect when it comes to a superhero movie, especially one that's using cartoonish style characters, I've come to expect some sloppy CGI every now and then. I come to expect that.
And-
That's normal. It's going to happen. There's no way around it. It's just the way that you have to do cartoon superheroes.
And I thought Thanos did a really good job of fleshing him out. He was the main character in this movie.
He was, absolutely.
That's
They
what
did
I
a
love.
fantastic
That's what I
job
love.
showing
And
all sides of Thanos here,
Yeah.
showing a remorseful,
thought-
showing a, you know, an all-powerful being.
Let's get into that.
Well, you know, we only got 2 minutes, and I got to get my thoughts in.
So anyway, so as I was saying, I think actually until I watch it a second time, but for now, Thanos is my favorite MCU villain. I think he top Loki for me.
easily.
No question, mainly because I think the villains are one of MCU's weaknesses, especially Marvel in general's weaknesses.
Michael Keaton, baby, can't beat him.
And
But I thought Thanos brought it to a new level. In my opinion, I think Thanos
Josh
is actually
Brolin
up
brought it
there
to a new
being
level.
one of the most feared and strongest villains I've seen in not just MCU, but all superhero movies. He brought a new level. You know, something that we hadn't seen in quite a while in terms of a superhero villain. And I thought that, you know, one of the things, you know, kind of talk about what you mentioned about regarding the action scenes. I thought that the action scenes were far more intense than anything we've seen in the Marvel universe.
Agreed.
Far more intense. They brought, you know, not just in, you know, action, you know, crazy action, but they brought severity and you know, meaning to the action scenes. They put a lot of weight on every single fight. You felt like, oh, this is the big fight. No, this is the big fight. No, this is the big fight.
It's and the best way I've ever described it is this felt like 3 third acts.
It really
was
did.
really
Like
Acts
you
1, 2, 3,
definitely
3
felt,
acts.
you know, the beginning act where it was the build up, then that you had the war in Wakanda essentially.
Yeah.
And then in the third act you also
It
had
was all
the,
third acts.
well, right, but
That's what I'm saying. It was 3 third acts.
yeah, but well, I mean, you could argue the beginning of it was the first act, then you got into the, you know, the. But anyways, that's beside the point. But overall, I thought this
And-
brought a level of intensity that I haven't seen from a Marvel movie ever.
I-
It put you at the edge of your seat, made you want to watch it, made you dive in, made you love, hate, everything. It made you feel, you know, I wanted to throw Thanos off the cliff when he threw Gamora off. You know.
Yeah. And the last 2 points I wanted to make real quick, I'm gonna pass out to you guys. For one point, I love they had the guts to end this on a sour note, end it with the villain winning, and just cut it there. With
Oh yeah,
and then,
that was
um,
fucking orgasmic.
And my second part is while there was so many characters, and yeah, some of them did feel kind of underused, but for the most part, they found a way to get them each their heroic moment in the movie, like which really impressed me. And each got their fair share of screen time, which I really appreciated. And I thought they balanced the humor really well too. I really liked.
I thought
the
they
humor
did a
was on
good job
point in
with the
this
humor.
movie.
I did think the Guardians were a little bit out of place in this movie. They just don't seem anywhere near as powerful as the rest of them.
Well, they've powered them down since the first movie.
They
basically.
have, but they honestly seemed weak in comparison to the rest of them. Star-Lord didn't look like a god. He looked human. He looked like he's just a regular ass guy with a gun shooting shit and running around. And the rest of them were morons as normal. But either way, though, I thought they all worked really well together. I liked seeing the Guardians break up into two groups and then joining
the way they
opposite.
paired,
I thought that was
everybody
really
was
cool.
They made really good choices there.
Right.
But
Slippery Snake, go ahead and let's hear your comments real quick.
Oh, we're both
All right. So to start off, I think top three, probably number two,
Number two.
maybe
What's what's
number
number one
one.
for you?
Oh, bro, I think it's gotta be Iron Man,
Iron
the
Man?
original. God, that's such a fucking good movie. But that or it's either top. It's like three or two.
Right.
But I really fucking liked it. Thanos winning at the end, that fucking shot of him actually watching the sunrise was so fucking good.
Which the
Big fucking
sunrise, you know,
surprise.
I thought there was some good parallels there with the sunrise because
Yeah.
the sunrise in Black Panther is
Yeah.
a very big motivation. It's kind of an underlining motivation for Killmonger, and then you have the sunrise essentially playing the culmination for Thanos, being
Well,
that he sits
they both
watches
have
the sunrise on Titan.
They both have similar
Right.
similar endings, similar shots.
Right. So
With
I
Killmonger
thought that
with
was
Thanos.
pretty. I thought that was a pretty
But-
cool aspect. Nice parallels there between Black Panther and
But
Infinity War.
Continue,
Right.
Right.
Also, fucking shocker. I don't know where he came from, but Red Skull.
yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah.
fucking great.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
don't know why he's
I
there.
did love that
I don't know
little
how.
cameo. he
I started
did.
like looking around frantically in the theater when I saw him. Like, guys.
He's fucking. He's fucking there. What was another great thing I liked about it? I liked a lot of things about this movie.
Absolutely.
Downside, there was a fucking. I mean, there's always gotta be with these movies, but there's a fucking big CGI war on Wakanda, which was. I loved the vision scenes with when they're fighting the children of Thanos, but or the Black Order or whatever it's called. But
Well, I
I
thought
could
were
care
really
less
cool,
about.
too.
I
I
thought
could
the
care
Black
less
one was
about
good.
these. I could care less about these CGI fucking creatures jumping all over them.
I personally really enjoyed the all-out charge by the I don't even know what to
Cows.
call them, in
I don't know
going
what they're
after
called.
going after Wakanda and then hitting the shield, then eventually
That
breaking
was
through
cool.
the shield.
That was cool.
I thought it was badass to see just the all-out assault
Yeah.
by the Black Horde and Thanos' army essentially, and then
Uh,
the ensuing fight in response to that. I thought that was pretty cool.
And just in that scene alone, though, real quick, there was a lot of full circle moments, like Black Panther and Captain America running side by side after what happened in Civil War, when they were fighting each other. You saw Baku and T'Challa. Baku call him brother after basically
Yep.
after he fought him for the throne in Black Panther.
Yep.
So I love the full circle moments in that scene.
I do
But
too.
yeah.
Well, Stumble, what are your thoughts? What are your kind of final thoughts about the movie? Where do you rank it in the Marvel franchise?
Oh, it's the best one by far. So far.
Any final positive notes on it?
You guys hit them all. I just have a quick question though.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you guys think about that Captain Marvel thing at the end?
The Captain Marvel tease?
I think we're
loved
gonna
it.
see Captain Marvel. I liked it. I knew it was coming. We knew Captain Marvel was going to
That
be
was
a
my
part of this
prediction.
franchise.
That was my prediction. Well, I'm saying for the
But
post-credit scene,
what the way I see it is, I think Captain Marvel is going to essentially lead the counter attack against Thanos and lead the way into bringing everybody back and bringing Avengers back
it
on
basically
top.
confirms she's going to be a crucial part of.
Oh, no
Avengers.
question, no question. If you put her in
That
the
and
Infinity War,
that is the best
I mean-
placed marketing I've ever seen.
what mother?
No. I'm talking about the Captain Marvel tease because now you bet your ass Captain Marvel's going to make boatloads of money
Oh,
when it comes
fuck
out
yeah,
now.
fuck yeah.
Like,
I mean,
but continue, Will Sumlin.
Yeah, so those were just my thoughts. I got nothing to add.
Okay,
I
so
thought-
then
Should we score?
anything else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say about it.
fucking.
In my opinion, this is the best Marvel movie we've had. I know Slippery Snake, you like Iron Man better.
It's just a
I
classic.
love Iron Man. It's a fun movie. I just think the level of intensity in this movie makes Iron Man look like a kiddie playland.
Yeah, I have so many like ties, like Civil War, Winter Soldier, this, and like maybe OG Avengers, just because it's the first one. It's like shit like that. I couldn't really
With me,
put a label on it or a number.
With me, that this weekend they had the original Avengers on TV.
Uh-huh.
So I popped on, so I'm like, I just want to see, I just want to watch this real quick. See if I had the same feeling. It honestly, not taking anything
Makes
more
it look
good
Kitty
Avengers.
Playland.
Fantastic movie, but it looked like a cartoon compared
Yeah,
to
it
what I
looks
just
I mean,
like
saw.
Kitty Playland.
the fucking shawarma scene is the greatest.
The Shawarma
fucking-
scene is one of the best
post-credit
one of the
scene.
best post-credit scenes ever, easily. So,
All right, so let's
anyways,
score
guys,
this.
let's go around and score this. First, we're gonna do it on a letterbox scale, so out of 5 stars. I'm gonna give this.
0.5.
Yep. So, and you can. Yep.
Yeah.
0.5s are in there. I'm gonna give this a solid 4.5 out of 5 stars. This movie blew me away in every sense of the word. It was awesome all across the board. That literally, in the most literal definition of awesome, is what this movie was. It put me at the edge of my seat. I was gasping half of it, looking at you, looking all around the theater, looking at people's reactions because I know my own was probably way overblown. It was insane. Four and a half out of 5 stars, no question.
We had an opening night theater, so as like
Nice.
if any character popped
I
up, it
freaking
was
loved
It was
the
like
crowd
fucking
clapping
freaking
whenever like Thor did some cool shit or some other shit
yeah.
happened.
Thor
I
like
loved it.
fucking slammed the hammer and people like came.
Oh,
I
man.
think my most memorable open night reaction, just in general, was Avengers 1 when Thor grabbed Loki. I mean, sorry, when the Hulk grabbed Loki and started smashing him. People literally stood up and were cheering.
yes. When he goes, sorry, I just slammed the mic. I got a little excited. But
Anyway.
the only reason I deducted a half star is because of the minor negatives that we pointed out to begin with.
Right,
4.5 out of 5 stars, no question though.
Same with me actually, 4.5 out of 5, and for me this one was awfully close to a 5. And really the only reason that it was not it was a 5 going up until the very end, where it just once it was a 5 up until I saw Black Panther disappear. Then I'm like, all right, this takes a little bit of gravity out of this final scene, and then it became a 4.5. But this is probably the strongest 4.5 I've ever given. It's a 4.5 for me.
Slippery Snake out of 5.
Out of 5, I give it a 4. 4.5. Fuck it, 4.5. I was fucking thoroughly entertained through the whole thing. This is the one Avengers. I don't know why I did, but I came into it with low expectations for some reason. I don't know. I was expecting like so much, but for some reason I thought I'd get an Age of Ultron vibe. I was hoping to God it wouldn't. I was so hyped for it, but at the same time it was low expectation. Yeah. So I went in. The crowd fucking helped. Like it just made me feel like, oh my god, this is fucking crazy. There was so much. Yeah, sorry. There was just so much fucking stuff. Like I don't get Bruce Banner not being able to turn into the Hulk. That's weird.
The way I took
Hulk
it,
was scared.
Yeah, the way I took it, and if you don't agree with me, don't agree with me. But he got his ass beat so bad by Thanos that he should have refused to come out and fight him.
The only thing that doesn't kind of follow that storyline there is the fact that he still wouldn't come out even when he's fighting lesser characters. So even when he's fighting the Black Horde as opposed to Thanos, because Thanos is the one he's scared of.
Up until this point in the MCU, he's never been beat, so he realized he's vulnerable.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't he get beat by Thor in Thor Ragnarok?
No, remember Thor got shocked, and then the Hulk.
Yeah, because he cheated.
Yeah.
Anyways,
if I could,
go ahead.
Sorry. I just wanted to say one more thing. Like, Thanos is probably one of my favorite characters just in the MCU in general. I fucking love how he's the main character. He got so much screen time. Josh Brolin was incredible voicing him and playing him.
No question.
He was. I fucking love that movie. It's so good.
Overall, I thought the directing of this film was fantastic as well.
Russo brothers always do a pretty good job.
They've made huge fans out of me after Winter Soldier and Civil War and this.
Absolutely.
But I don't know about Thanos. I don't know if you noticed at the very end of the credits, it didn't say the Avengers will return. It says Thanos will return.
Thanos will return.
I like that too.
I'm a sick fuck. I
like that they did that though because they knew that this was a Thanos movie.
Yeah.
This is a movie about Thanos and his reign.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Will Stumblin out of 5.
I give it a 5. I was
5?
Absolutely blown away.
Yeah.
What was it?
Out of 5. All right, so then we're gonna go ahead and give this a little Rotten Tomato score action as well. I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna go defer over to you for your score out of 100.
94%.
94%. Wow, that's right in line with the 4.5 stars. So
it's the strongest 4.5 I've given.
Right, I'm gonna go with the solid 93. I'm gonna go just a tick below you because I think I did have a little bit more of slight issues with you. Yes, I think I had a little slight. A little more slight issues than you did. Again, this movie blew me away in every way. It's hard for me to give a score in the 90s. So, but this movie hit the nail on the head with everything. So, 93.
Soapy Snake.
I'll go a tick below. I'll give it a 92 because I gave it a 4.5, but it's just barely a 4.5. Like it's just barely a 4.5 for me. It's still like top 3 favorites, but I fucking like it's 92.
Wilt Stumblin.
I give it a 98.
98.
Nice.
Wow, nice.
Oof.
Love it.
Bang.
Love it. So, anyways, before we close out the review, guys, I want to say thank you to you guys. But first, Andrew, question for you. This movie hit $630 million worldwide opening weekend.
God.
Over $100 million more on an opening weekend than any other movie in history. Where do you put the final number and ranking on the all-time list after you saw the opening weekend?
This is gonna hit 2 billion, like you said before.
That would put it fourth. Just a flat 2 bill would put it
I
fourth.
mean, I'd have to see what the exact numbers are for the rest of them, but I think
To hit third, you got to hit 2.078.
I think you'll hit top 3 then.
I think to hit number 2, you got to hit 2.3 or something
Yeah,
like
I think you'll hit top 3.
What was
I'm
the
not ready to
Avatar
say you'll get to 2,
2.7?
but I'll put it at top 3.
I have a feeling this may go between 2 and 3. I really do. I think this may become the second highest grossing movie of all time. I just have a feeling the way,
I'll
the
put it
amount
at 3
of
for
power
now.
that this movie had in opening weekend
Well,
blew me away, which is weird because going after Friday night, we both were saying, this is actually kind of underperforming by a little bit compared to what our expectations were, even though it was second highest of all time for Friday.
Mine was 150 and it got 158, so overperformed mine.
No, you and I, it was 140 when we
Oh,
talked
so-
about it, remember? It was at
No, I
140
meant
when we talked.
250.
Sorry.
I meant to say 250, got 258.
But after Friday, you and I were talking about it, saying this is actually a little bit underperforming what we were saying. It was only at 240 when we talked about it. And then it Saturday and Sunday, the highest Sunday of all
We
time,
didn't
by
talk
the
about
way.
it on Friday. We weren't on the show on Friday.
It was just between you and me.
Oh.
It had to have been Friday. I don't even remember what day it was, but it was just between you and me. But overall, I mean, the largest Saturday and Sundays in history. I
Yeah.
mean, it obviously boosted the numbers big time. But I'm gonna put it right there between somewhere in 2 and 3 range. So, but anyways, guys, Slippery Snake, Will Someone, thank you guys for coming out and doing the review with us. We definitely enjoyed that. Had a
No
great
problem.
time. We're just gonna close this out real quick. Anyways, guys, that is our Infinity War full-on spoiler review. Avengers: Infinity War. It was an awesome movie. You guys gotta go see it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We definitely will be back with some more reviews in the future. So, anyways, guys, peace out. Have a good night.
Peace.